We created Read365 for a very specific reason. At our public school, Meeting Street Elementary at Brentwood, we have a super strong curriculum, small class sizes, teachers who really care about students learning. But it's still a challenge to meet the needs of this whole wide range of kids. When we dug into the research, what we learned was that the act of reading, just reading and doing it every day, is such a great way to boost students' literacy. And so we created a program that encourages kids to read every single day, and we called it Read365.
What I love most about Read365 is that we get to learn new things.
When I first heard about Read365, I was super excited. When my children were in elementary school, I helped in their classrooms with reading with children, and I've since seen students later on in life that remember me from when I was reading with them in second grade, and it makes a connection and a huge difference.
The program helps my son to excel in his reading. He's learning more, he's growing more.
My favorite thing about Read365 is you get a chance to encourage young people to see the value of reading.
It's really fun and really educational so that we can learn more about the books.
What our experience showed us was that when an adult comes into the classroom and really shows an interest in a student, something magical starts to happen.
One of the biggest pieces of reading that we miss in our regular block of time is that ability for a student to sit and talk with someone else about what they're reading. And so in this program, they get to have someone who regularly shows up and not only spends time checking in on them, but also says, like, what are you reading and how does that make you feel?
And when kids have the opportunity to really dig into what they're reading and discuss it with an adult, we found that their reading comprehension really starts to take off.
The impact of Read365 is going to be amazing in the future. I think you're going to see MAP scores come up. I think you're going to see kids loving to read where they didn't love to read before. I think you're going to see involvement from the community that will make a huge difference in the school and with families in the school.
I've seen a lot of growth in reading comprehension and vocabulary.
It helps me understand more of the words.
So we created a program where volunteers come into the school and they meet with a student for an hour once a week, and it's a book club format, but it's really one-on-one. So every volunteer gets a chance to develop a relationship with a student.
What I love most about Read365 is the connections that you can make with the students. You get to know the group that's coming in every day, and then you're bonding with them through that book.
I make connections with my students through Read365. When I see them, they're happy, they come up and give me a hug. When we're reading the stories and something resonates with them in the story, they talk to me about what might be going on in their lives or with their families or with a friend. I think the consistency of having the same person over and over again makes a big difference with that student, and it will forever. They won't forget.
What was really important to us is that students had the same mentor each week, and that person was also invested because they've read the same text that the students have read, and they can talk about it.
We put into the hands of the volunteers and the kids really great books by great children's authors, and these books were chosen for their appeal to both the kids and the volunteers.
The book choices, I think, are wonderful. They have characters who face a problem that students can identify with.
We get to read books that we haven't read before, and they're good books.
The book we're reading right now just totally dives into what it's like to be a kid nowadays. So there's a bunch of good lessons baked in.
Read365 volunteers come from all different backgrounds. We have high school students, we have retirees, and we have everything in between.
We're looking for folks who love learning and want to encourage our kids and work with children who are absolutely amazing, who may just need a little bit more of a push from an adult who's also invested in the same thing that they're reading.
It's just a wonderful way to connect with a young person and know that you make a difference and empower them.
It's awesome. I love it. My son loves it.
If a child does not love reading, it means that they have not found their favorite book yet, and this is what a volunteer can bring. That love for reading and that desire to help a student grow.
If you're someone who's interested in working with kids, developing a relationship, and you really enjoy reading with kids, we would really love to hear from you.